Hey, this is Brock Lemires, and in this video we're going to introduce the concept map as a way to display your understanding of a concept. All right, so a concept map is a graphical way to show kind of your depth of understanding of a topic or your knowledge of a topic. And what you do is you construct a graphical, it's a map, but it's a graphical representation of how you conceptualize the information, okay? It's how you organize the knowledge around a specific topic, okay? So everybody learns a little bit different, but this shows how you are understanding it. So the way that you do it is you start with kind of an overarching topic, like this, in this example, it would be plants, okay? And then what you do is you insert these nodes which represent kind of subtopics of it, and then you link them together with what we call prepositions or relational concepts. Okay, so as an example, if you look at this, the topic is plants, and you're trying to display to somebody what's your understanding of plants. Okay, so you would say, okay, well, let's think about this. They have would be the preposition, and then you could go, well, they have roots. That would be a node, okay, or like a subtopic. And if you're going to use the preposition have, you could also have other nodes, such as they also have leaves, and then they also have stems. And you can basically, using this preposition, you can list out everything that you think that they have. All right. And so each one of these paths is representative as a hierarchy. Okay, because then from those you can go further and further, and you can say, okay, the roots might have a different preposition, and you could build a sub-hierarchy underneath it and show an even further depth of knowledge. So let's follow this from the preposition have down to leaves, and let's see if we can build it even further down. Okay, so we start with plants as the topic. The preposition is, or the relationship is have, and so we go, they have leaves. So now you're down here and you got leaves, and it's like, can you have anything further than that? Do you have any understanding about leaves? And it's like, well, they are usually green. Okay, so now what you've done is you've shown depth of your knowledge about plants, because you started with something that was kind of simple like leaves, and then you kept going and you said green, and you can keep going and going and going. So then your main two things here is you're going to have nodes, or the topic and subtopics, and then you're going to connect them with prepositions or relational words, okay? And these are usually verbs. So you can think of it as these are nouns, these are verbs roughly. And then we call them hierarchies because you basically, they expand kind of like a root. Okay, and so let's think about this. The more knowledge that you have about a particular topic will allow you to build a deeper and deeper map. Okay, and then what happens is that you can have these things which are called cross links that kind of map topics together. So as an example, let's go back to the simple one. You could come over here and say plants have leaves, and then you go, well, they are usually green, but then you sit there with leaves and you're like, you know what? Leaves actually support stems. And so what you've done is you've linked two of these subtopics together using another preposition. But in this situation, since you linked them together, this is actually called a cross-link. And it shows that how these two subtopics work together, or how these two nodes work together. And that's even a further depth of understanding of how a complex system works. So you can think about it as, if you were right about all the things that you're putting down, you could easily just look at a concept map and say, how many hierarchies have you created, and how many prepositions and how many cross-links are there? So in this situation, you got plants have roots, they have leaves, and they have stems. But leaves are usually green, but leaves produce food. And then you come over here and you're like, stems are modified from flower, or are modified to form flowers. Flowers expands more, and it's like they produce seeds, and then it may have petals. And then you got seeds store food, and that's a cross-link because it comes back into a common, or you have a common topic right here. And basically you look at that and you can kind of graphically go, okay, That's a good understanding of plants. Like you have a lot of stuff right there, a lot of depth and understanding. Now, this assumes that you're right about all this stuff. You could actually be incorrect. Like plants have hats. And it's like, well, just because you put down a node doesn't mean you know. So this assumes that you're actually correct when you think about this. But here's an example of something that's not a good understanding. It's very linear. And a linear system is it's just easier to understand, and that's really not what we use concept maps for. We use them for complex topics. So in this situation, this would be kind of a poor concept map where you have plants have stems, stems are modified form of flowers, they produce seeds, they do food. There's really no like understanding of the complexity and how different subsystems work together in order to make plants form. Okay. All right. So when you do a concept map, it's a two-part purpose. One of them is as an instructor, we can figure out how deep your understanding of a complex topic is by looking at your map. But then it's also kind of a process of metacognition where you're thinking about learning. And so as you build a concept map, it forces you to think about a topic more deeply. And when you do this, when you really concentrate and think about how everything works together, it aids in your learning. So concept maps are actually kind of a good study guide. They're a good way to understand these things. And here's a really simple way to think about a concept map. You can think about a topic and then you can just kind of use like 4 different broad categories. Okay. So you could say, okay, what is the purpose of this topic? And then what is the usage of it? What are the benefits of it? And what are the types of it? Okay. And so then from there, you can dig down further and further. And so these are kind of guiding nodes that can help if you're just like stuck on a concept map and you're just like, I don't even know where to go. So those are four nodes that can kind of help you get going. Okay. All right. So let's look at a couple examples. So here's an example of a concept map of forces. So you go, okay, here's forces. And you go, what do we even do with forces? So you can think about it and go, what kind of forces are there? Okay, so you go, okay, there's kind of forces, there's point sources and distributed forces. Okay, that's cool. And then if you come back up to the main topic, it's like, what are applications of forces? Okay, well, free body diagrams are a way to determine how a force works. Okay, so that's something you can use, can be applied to understand forces. Forces are, and then you start giving them characteristics like vectors. And then you take it from there and you go, okay, let's go back over here. Point forces, such as contact force, normal force, friction force, and you just start brainstorming as you go. Okay, so that's an example of like forces as a concept map. Here's another kind of simple one of how do computer engineers create value. Okay, so you can think about, well, it comes down to practice. Okay, and from practice it says, why do you practice? It helps with code quality and it creates more projects, and then the code quality creates organized code, which is sought after. Okay, so you see that they're just kind of they flow and they flow. Okay, so then you can say it depends on having a certain mindset, and that depends on networking, a way to get internships and give experience, and there you go. All right, so you can certainly draw out a concept map with pencil and paper, that's fine, or any drawing tool for that matter. But there is some open source software that makes it really easy to draw concept maps. And this is called Cmap, and that's what we use for a couple of our homework assignments. And it's from the Florida Institute for Humans and Machine Cognition. And basically it's free software that you can download here. And so let me walk you through downloading it just so that you don't hit a few of the pitfalls. Okay, so let's look at, all right, so if I go to that website, here's what happens. So this is open source. Okay, so let's just take a deep breath. You hit download and you get brought to an ad bonanza here of all these little inserted ads. You know, they gotta fund their way to they gotta fund their open source stuff. I've found it, you can't even navigate this thing to find the right download button, so don't click anything on there. It's just all adware, okay? And so what I do is go up to products and then CmapTools. You get more ads. It's like, yay, it's free software, so put up with it. So then you come out here and this CmapTools is what we're after, and this is what it's gonna look like. And so if you come down here, you finally find a orange button, okay, not the green adware ones. And so then you click on that and it's like, okay, it takes you to another page of like, oh boy. So now the key here is that you have to fill out this thing on the side in order to get it to work. Okay, so it's like, okay, Montana, so let me fill this out really quick. Our education, Montana State, target OS, Windows, 2+2, give it a little thing. And so then you can finally come over here and be like, all right, subscribe to the mailing to, no. So you want to submit that, then you finally get the oranges. So it's like, orange is good. Okay, don't download the extension. So then you come down here and I'm Windows 32-bit or 64-bit. So then bop, I do that and I go ahead and I download it. Okay, so life is good. I finally got this downloaded. Okay, so then I drag it out of my browser over onto my desktop. And so here's my 64-bit executable. I finally have it. Now, there's a couple things that you got to be very aware of right now. Okay, so at MSU, we have tightened our IT security because of our big ransomware attack last year. So you have to, when you install this on an MSU machine, okay, it's very important that you do a couple steps. Now, if you're on your own machine and you're admin, you probably don't have to do this, but I'm going to show you what you have to do at an MSU machine. So there is now a tool on all MSU machines called Make Me Admin, and it gives you administrator rights just temporarily so that you can do something. Okay, so when you click that Make Me Admin tool, it makes you admin. Okay, then here is the biggest thing. If you click on that, and you have to right click on this thing and say run as administrator, not administrator. And that is the only way you can install this. If you don't do that, if you just say, oh, I just double click and it'll install, it will drive you crazy. It will actually pretend it installed. It'll go through the whole installation process and then it won't be there. And you're like, what happened? There's no indication it didn't install. And that's because you have to be administrator to install it. So it won't install if you do a double click on these MSU machines at least. So what I do is I right click on it, I say run as administrator, and then I got to do my whole thingamajig to get it. I go ahead and I log in and it's like, oh my goodness, what is happening here? And then you get through that. Okay, so then after admin, it will actually install. And what we'll do here is we'll install it and then I want to make sure that it actually exists because if it didn't, you weren't admin, okay? So it doesn't take very long to install. And when it's all said and done, we've got CmapTools, knowledge modeling. All right, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so now here's the introduction. This is the installer program. And so all you do is you just click next, yeah. You accept it, la-da-da. Typical, good to go, and you're done. Okay, so here we go. Okay, we'll just accept the default. It's going to put it under C program files, and good. Okay, and then we got final one is it's good to go on all languages. You say done. Okay, it's installed. Now, is it installed? If you weren't admin, it will not be installed. It'll just pretend like it installed and it didn't. So the only way to really figure it out if it's there is to go into your, to see if it is to actually launch it. Okay, so you got to go in here and find the CMap tool on here. And let's see, it's under IHMC and then you go CmapTools on your start and then it fires up and it's like, oh boy. So once you see this, you have installed the tools and you're ready to go. Okay, so now let's look at how you build a CMap on here. Okay, so what happens is that when you start it, it always comes up with like two windows. And one of them is going to be kind of like it's like your workspace. It's where you control where the files are saved. And then the other one is going to be where you actually draw the CMap. And so the first thing that's really important is to understand where you're going to save these files. So you're going to save them and then you're going to upload them so that we can actually open them and grade them. So if I come over here, this is named untitled. 2 is my example. And I come over here and I go, CMaps in my computer. So you go, where is this saving it? So if you want to know where you're going to save something, you can go edit preferences and it'll basically come up here and it'll tell you where you're going to save your CMaps. So in this example, it's putting mine under my users and then my username and then document CMap. And so that's where by default it will save this thing. So when I come over here and I go file, save CMap, I can give it a name like CMap example 1. And then when I save that, it names it and it's there. And then you're like, okay, well, where did that go? So then I come over here into Windows Explorer and I go to, okay, quick access, documents, and then I go my CMaps. And there it is. So it's got an extension of .cmap. This is what you'll actually upload to the assignment folder for your homeworks. Okay, so now we know where it is. How do we use this thing? Well, it's crazy easy. It's actually, all you do is over here in this little workspace, you just double click and it adds a concept. So you just double click, double click, double click, double click, double click. And then if you want to get out of it, you hit escape. If you select something and you don't want to select it, hit escape. You can drag around and do full deletes. And then what you do is you double click on that. You double click to add a topic, and then you double click again to do it. And let's do like rock. Okay, and then I'm gonna say, oh, okay, I'm gonna add something over here. And then what I do is I just drag it the other way. So if I click on this, if I want to go from this down to here, I just click on it and it brings these little arrows, the propositions of the verb. I drag it down here and then it asks me, what do you want to do? And then I come over here and it has last name, or I could say has names of, and then I could come down here and be like, oh, Lemire's. And then I could be like, oh, wait a minute, I want to do my middle name too. So I come over here and I'm like, Jerome. Okay, and then I'll put that over there. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. What if I drag it? No, I don't want to drag the arrow that way. I want to drag it from here down to here. And then it does that. And you're like, no, I didn't really want that. I can actually click on the preposition and say I want to tree off there. And look at it. So I did it. So now I've got Brock names, has names of Jerome and Lemire's. My name is Brock Jerome Lemire's, in case you're wondering. And then I could say, you know what? I want to do one where it's like, is a, so I'm going to do this. I drop it at one down here, and then I'm like, I want to do an arrow preposition from here to here. So I drag it from here, and then I can say is a, so I'll go is a, and then I'll come in here and I'll say dude, right? And then I'll be like professor. Okay, I'm like, all right. And then I'm like, well, wait, I want to tie that in there. So what I do is I click on that preposition, bring it over here, and do that, and life is good. And you can move these things all around, okay? All right, so then what's really cool is you can actually come up here and do format, and you can do auto layout, and it'll actually try to clean this up for you. So you can have some settings in here, but let's go generate new layout, and it'll actually try to, so once you do that, say okay, and you can come up here and you can zoom out, and it'll actually try to like lay this out in a better format for you. Okay, so that's all you really do. So then I just save that thing, and now I have a concept map. Okay, so you did it, and you save that little sucker, and you can upload it. So the last thing I just want to show you is some resources for concept maps. So if you're just like, I want more of this, and I want to understand the pedagogy behind it, there is this thing called the Concept Map Toolkit. And if you click on this little link right here, it'll bring you over to this website. And this effort has been funded by the KEEN network, which stands for the Kern Entrepreneurial Engineering Network, which is sponsored by the Kern Family Foundation. And basically what this is using concept maps to think about mindset. But this has all these resources out here for things like, okay, examples, what the theory is behind concept mapping, how to grade it, how to use it in classes. And even though if you're a student and you're looking at this, you're going like, why do I care about what the teacher's thinking about when using concept maps? And it's always good to kind of know why we do the things that we do in class. But you can come in here and it talks about, there's videos on like, what is this thing, different examples of how you can do this sort of stuff, types of assignments that you can use, how it's scored. And so it's really kind of cool. And so this is a consortium of people that have worked on this for a number of years that have all contributed to this. So that's just a really cool resource that you have. Okay, so that is it, and nice work. That's concept maps, and we'll see you.